in multiple aircraft in support of the global war on terror. My journey began when I was flying C-21 Learjets out of Ramstein Air Base in Germany. I remember being there on 9/11 and watching the images at the ops desk on the television, watching the Twin Towers collapse. And I recall collapsing myself to the floor in that moment, knowing that my service was going to look a lot different. It kind of felt like this pivotal moment in my life, like my future had shifted permanently. We were all sent home to set alert because we immediately began our mission of evacuating any U.S. dignitaries throughout Europe that needed to get back to a U.S. military base or back to the States. And I wasn't just watching history. As a 25-year-old, I was part of history in that moment. I remember coming home one night shortly after 9/11, and my German neighbor, Gerhard, he was a career Polizei in Germany and someone who understood service. Like, we really bonded over that. But he also suffered a horrible tragedy when his sister, who was a telephone operator in the 1940s, she was killed by a US bomb during World War II. I remember how he and his wife knocked on our door with just tears in their eyes, distraught over the news coming out of the States. That was a powerful moment for me because this wasn't about politics, it was about people and our shared purpose and sense of service. And on a day that was defined by destruction, I experienced connection with my neighbors. On a day that was defined by hatred, I witnessed compassion. And I think that carried with me throughout the war and all of my deployments. It was more about the people I stood with, from all nations, from all services, especially my crew and my teammates. You know, it's the people and the stories that are still with me today. As a C-130 pilot, we were either our passengers' last leg into combat or their first leg out. For those going into the combat zone, we play Metallica or Guns N' Roses during our combat descent and engine running offloads. And for those on their first leg going home, which we, play something more fun and celebratory, especially as we crossed out of combat airspace. That was just such a big moment. I remember we actually had to MacGyver a patch cord from our new iPods into the PA system so everyone could hear the music. I also used to do things like select troops from the back to right up front. That's why I just loved learning about their experiences on the ground in the combat zone. Some of those stories were uplifting and some were unspeakable tragedies. And unfortunately, I know some of the individuals I took into these combat zones never made it home. So every mile of the GWOT 100 is meaningful to me. It's a way to remember all their stories and honor all of the people that I encountered and served with and connected with on my journey.